Hey, welcome back to the Nets, your one-stop channel for unbiased views, analysis of teams, games, players, and transfer news. So today, the team I had in mind to cover was Rajasthan Royals, and with me is a very good friend of mine, Rohan. Rohan and I go way back, and now he has settled into a completely different thing. He runs his own little critique shop, I would say. But welcome to the show, Rohan. So,
Hi, thank you, Kayur. Thank you so much. It's an honor. I always
oh,
wanted
thank you.
to discuss sports. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. So, Rohan, when we talk about Rajasthan Royals, one of the things that stands up in my mind is the first season, where they were just having, bits and pieces player. They had an amazing captain,
Right,
and they managed to, I wouldn't say surprise at all, because by the end of the mid tournament, it wasn't a surprise anymore. So
right.
let me go back and say, you being based out of Meerut, what made you
Dehradun.
Dehradun, sorry. Dehradun, what made you
I,
like?
I may I may just take offense because we don't like merit at all.
Okay. Okay, so let's stick back to the question. What makes you pick Rajasthan Royals?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, from the season one, of course, I am a great fan of Warnie, and I don't think so. There's a better captain, even till now. I would rank him above everybody else in the IPL at least. And as everybody knows that he couldn't become captain of Australia because he's a rock star. So yeah, so that culture has trickled down into Rajasthan and has always stayed there. And the grooming part of things, like we were discussing earlier also, that they have groomed so many good players like the Jadejas and many others who have later on, gone on to create, a big name for themselves. So I think that culture has always been there, and that's why I like supporting the underdog somehow. They may not like it like the underdog tag now because they have big players now. They have been spending like matlab auction may they spent a lot on some big players and then they had very less to spend on others. But I think that is the culture at Rajasthan. I mean, they would take in small players and then go for the jugular with some big players like the Ben Stokes and Steven Smiths and others. And yeah, so they have spent great money again on some players which I don't like, but that's fine. I mean, Jaydev Unadkat, I won't have him on the Rajasthan team, but we had a decent auction, I would say.
I do agree with you with the comment that the whole idea of Rajasthan Royals, that historically they have the habit of grooming youngsters and they bring them up to speed, and then for some reason they don't hold on to their core. But
Right,
this time, when you look at it, you realize that okay, they have a British core, so there's a think tank going in the back trying to
right,
find out. Ben Stokes, then there's Butler, and then there's Jofra Archer. So these are like the T20 specialists that are
right.
out there. And then
Yeah,
there's Steve Smith, who can
yeah.
anchor the innings. And
Yeah, I mean he's a guy who could win you the IPL. I mean he practically did it. I think last season was the one he did great, and even before that he has done well. So I think so this time also, if the big names fire, we can do it. We can scare a lot of good teams. So that is what we are looking at. I'm saying we because I'm a big fan. Sorry.
every right to do it. So one of the things that I find that is lacking in this 11 is a genuine spinner. A spinner,
Yeah,
and considering we are playing overseas
yeah,
in Dubai, where the ball is going to turn eventually as this team progresses, I feel that Rajasthan's chances are more about put up a total that no other teams can match, rather
right.
than defend a small total. Do you
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
do you
completely
think of
right.
same lines?
Yeah, because Shreyas Gopal, I know, I mean, he doesn't have experience, but he has done well, decently well, because he got, I think so, AB and Kohli back to back last time around, I think so, against RCB. And he has been doing pretty well, but of course, I mean, he doesn't have the experience of, say, like a Chahal, who did wonders yesterday, by the way. he changed the match entirely. So he doesn't have that, but I think so. If he plays up to his potential, he can create problems. Although I agree we don't have an experienced spinner as such. Plus, the game one, this game against Chennai in Sharjah will be a tough game for us. I think so. It's not going to be easy because the ground is smallish. I mean, compared to other grounds, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So we are going to have a difficult time because our USP has always been that we have big ground, especially in Jaipur. It's a big ground. So we flourish in totals like 150, 160, and this ground may have a big total match and high scoring game. So I feel that it's going to be a hard time, but of course we'll fight it out. But it is going to be so in the lineup also it might reflect, which I'll tell you a little bit later, what I have done with my lineup so that we don't land up into that trouble.
So one of the things that I feel that might even work on the other hand is because it's a small ground and considering Dhoni, he likes to push for Ambati Raidus and people like that to go ahead of him.
Yeah,
Don't you think that maybe taking the pace of the ball might actually work towards Rajasthan's favor? But
I
also, this is the first match in Sharjah, the first match
yes,
in Sharjah, so the ground will not be as bad. It won't be as deteriorated as you can
right.
think of
True,
5 games
true.
from
So
now.
there is lots of uncertainty with Sharjah because it's the first game. But I think I would go with a lineup which is more fast bowler heavy, not take a risk with leg spinners much because we already have with Steven Smith and a couple of other bowlers. They can do a little bit of part-time stuff with Shreyas Gopal. So I would go with a fast bowling sort of attack in this match especially and trouble them with pace and stuff. So that would be my strategy.
I would definitely agree with that. So, what kind of target do you think that you guys would like to chase, considering it's Chennai?
Yeah, I mean, chasing, I think so. I would be really fine with 170. I would be really fine with 170 because we have the batting lineup to chase that. I mean, talking about the lineup, if I may,
Sure, go for it.
I have put Jaiswal, of course. He's a new guy and he's young and he should be put in there in the first match. Like we saw in the last with Padikkal yesterday, he did so well. I mean, he's a left-hander and he did so well for RCB. So I would put him at the top along with Robin Uthappa. He's got experience, so I would put him there. Also keep with Uthappa. I don't like Sanju Samson's keeping at all, so let's not go there. And third of one down would be Samson, and then Smith. Then I picked David Miller for the first couple of matches. I'm not so certain about him. Since we don't have Josh Butler and Ben Stokes in the initial matches, Butler has been in quarantine with his family, so he can't make it for the first match. So that's why David Miller comes in. And there is Riyan Parag who has done really well in the middle order. He's a decent hitter, so he's there. Then there is Shreyas Gopal, who is a necessity. And then I picked Varun Aaron just to, surprise them with initially in the first couple of overs. And then I have Jofra Archer, of course. He's the best bowler in the world right now. And then there is Tom Curran, who has been doing really well for England. He would bat also decently well. And at the end is my favorite and not so favorite, Jaydev Unadkat, but he's there. I think he has got a VRS scheme with Rajasthan Royals, I suppose.
That's something surprising. That how does Jaydev Unadkat manage to get all these big contracts when you know that he's nowhere near the selection doors for internationals?
I
But
think he has got a domicile of Rajasthan or something. They pick him anyways.
they and I mean, I could not understand the strategy of letting go of Ajinkya Rahane, but keeping Jaydev Unadkat. So it
I don't
was
understand that. It's totally bonkers because Unadkat, I mean, it has worked for him. It would work for him because the pitches are going to be slow in the UAE and stuff. So it will work for him. But if this IPL was in India, he would be smashed. I'm pretty sure about it. So this is going to be do wonders for him. And if he doesn't bowl well here in the UAE, it's curtains for him.
it is curtains for him.
Yeah. So
Coming
that's the
back
thing.
to using, I mean, when again I think of Rajasthan, one of the things that I think of is how they manage to keep all their eggs in these one basket, and then they have these one-off players who are squad players rather than specialists.
Right.
With that being said, now for this core team, I think the core player would be banking on Jofra Archer for
Yeah.
those wickets, or in the end,
Totally.
the other one
That's
would
why
be
I
Steve
said
Smith.
That's why I said that I would pick Aaron along with him to, blast the opposition in the first 6 overs. I mean, it can go either way. But as I saw in the earlier matches also, and even in before IPLs, you have to go for the wickets. Otherwise, it is going to be like closed doors for you, especially against a team like Chennai. I mean, you can't, just stop them. Watson will kill you. I mean, if he stays in there for 10 overs, right?
So, and this is what I feel about which is lacking in Rajasthan. One of the things that I find is uh, wicket taking bowlers. Yes, you have Jofra Archer. You
Yes,
do have Aaron can pick up wickets as well. He
yes,
was, he had a very lethal Yorker when he first came in.
yes,
But
yes.
besides that, in the middle overs, unless the batsman makes a mistake, Rajasthan does not seem to have bowlers that can, get you those wickets.
Right,
You have to
right.
buy wickets, is how I look at it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I think so that ways we have to go back again to the Warnie mentality. I think he is on the mentor side of it again, but he has to tell our captain Steven Smith to create good strategies. I mean, otherwise it is going to be hard. You are right. If we don't bowl to our fields and don't bowl smartly, like Warnie had all of his players do, then we may land up in trouble. But I suppose if Archer and Karan, especially, they both do well, then perhaps we have a chance. And Shreyas Gopal, of course, he has to bowl well, and that's our only kind of chance. Because if he bowls badly, he doesn't get wickets, then it may be hard going for us.
fair enough. And so one of the things that I have, after the first season, the benchmark was set so high by Shane Warne and Rajasthan Royals from those days that after that, anytime I have watched Rajasthan, it was always compared to the first season, and I always been
Yeah,
like, this is not the same. But
what's happening?
that being said, one of the youngsters that I definitely would like to keep my eyes on will be Yashasvi Jaiswal. We all know he
Yeah,
has a future in Indian cricket.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He
totally.
is he opens the batting, bowls leg spin, left-hander. So
Yeah.
he definitely has a future in cricket.
Right, right. I haven't picked actually. I didn't pick Rahul Tevatia, because I picked Aaron because of the Sharjah ground. Otherwise, I would pick him as well. He has done decently well. He's a good leg spinner. We have too many leg spinners, in fact, in this team. We lost. Uh, what's the name of the guy, the off spinner to Kings 11, the Karnataka guy? I forget his name completely. But we lost him to Kings 11, and he has gone into Kings 11, the left arm guy. And he hits a good ball also. I forget his name completely. But that guy was really good. But yeah, so I think we have enough to trouble teams, but we'll have to play above our potential a little bit, as always. And we do actually. But Rahane was a bad let go. You are completely right. We shouldn't have done that.
I think one of the smart buys again from Rajasthan was Mayank Markande. They had initially
Yeah.
he went to I think
Yes.
Delhi, and then he switched
Yes.
back to
Yes.
Rajasthan Royals.
Again, he's a leggy, right? He's a leggy.
He's the leg spinner, but he had one decent season with Mumbai where he showed he had potential, but then after that it was pretty much stagnated after that. So there is
Right.
someone that might come
No,
into
they
play.
can they can pick him. Actually, there's a toss up between him and Tevatia, right? So if Tevatia doesn't do well by any chance, he'll play in the future or maybe today also. We never know. What they pick. So he may have a chance and he has an opportunity. I mean, he has kind of gone downhill in a couple of seasons, but he can come back. He will have the opportunity at Rajasthan for sure. I know that because it happens sometimes we don't do well in the in between, and then we give everybody opportunities. So it's going
And
to happen.
that is one thing that I do like about Rajasthan, that that if you're in the squad, you're going to get at least one or two games.
You'll
You
get an
will get one
opportunity,
or
but
two games.
not
So,
a, not a
and
good thing, not a good thing necessarily because on the other hand we have CSK today who are as stable as it gets. I mean Fleming, I mean Fleming and Warnie in fact are two of the best minds ever in cricket.
so one of the good things that I feel from Mumbai standpoint was we always have a history of losing the first game. And the
Yes,
first game is against the best team. I'm not too
right.
worried about losing to
So that's a
Chennai
good thing.
because
That's a
we
good
know
omen
if we
actually.
come across them in the finals, we are going to beat them. We have done
True,
that in the past. So,
that's a good thing. In fact, coming back to Rajasthan, I am kind of worried about Samson a little bit because he has not really evolved as such. I mean, he could have, but he has not really evolved. So he needs to do well. And I didn't pick Andrew Ty because he has again gone down the hill. I mean, Australia also is not considering him seriously. So I don't like the look of him anymore. There's Manan Vora, who has done well for many teams, and he has been traveling a lot across the IPL. So there is good backup, but for today my lineup would be whatever I mentioned. Let's see. I just wish that Ben Stokes comes back. I just wish that he has been practicing in Christchurch. By the way, the news is that
and this is the beauty of it, right? Once Ben Stokes and Josh Butler do come in, the lineup
oh
changes completely. It changes
completely.
completely.
Yeah,
Even the Indian youngsters that you have in the team, besides bearing three or four of them who are sure shot names on the roster,
right.
it's going to change completely. So Rajasthan is a team to keep an eye on. And one of the things that I would say about Rajasthan is I don't think in this edition they will be winning it or they will be in the top four. My take is they will be making a change as to they will be causing a ripple effect into who that top four will be.
Yes,
They will
yes,
be taking points off big teams. So
right.
they will be the deciders who ends in the top four.
Right. In fact, that happened last season also. I mean, we troubled many teams because if you remember, there was a deadlock between multiple teams last time. So we were in there in the mix, and we were troubling everybody. But what happened was we lost Butler, and he went away to play for England. I suppose that's what happened. And then we went downhill. We lost Butler, and everything went
And
haywire.
last year, I think there were three teams on 15 points, and it was
Yes.
finally the averages that took them in the
Yeah.
front. So,
Yeah. And I think we were one of those teams or something.
yes. And
So
and last year again, being an odd year, it was meant for Mumbai. Mumbai always wins in odd years. So
true, 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 true.
uh,
So do you have a second team this year or just one team?
I've always been a Mumbai fan, and if not Mumbai, I would like Chennai to see just because of Dhoni. Dhoni's
Right.
retirement, he did not get a grand send off. So if not
Yes.
Mumbai, and I would want either Dhoni or Kohli to win.
Right. Kohli?
Kohli
Oh
has
no,
to
that's not going to happen. That's not happening.
Kohli.
I don't know.
I will be doing a separate edition on Bangalore, but I
Okay.
was thinking that this time around, Kohli does have the bowling to support his batting. Earlier, it was extremely batting heavy,
Yeah.
but this time I feel that they have the bowling lineup as well to back or defend a small score. So
Yeah, so my second team is Delhi. So they just scraped through in the last game. So let's hope what happens.
I will. I will not be backing Delhi for sure. I'm more towards the teams that I would choose, the southern teams that I would choose.
No,
But
I'm just so close to Delhi. That's why I have to support them. I didn't go for Punjab because they don't have a chance. That's
so,
why.
so, what's the take for today? What do you
Uh,
think is win the toss and select a bowl or bat?
I would bat first because our bowling is a little bit iffy. I would not bank on them right now. Let them get a bit of experience of the conditions and then let's see what happens. But batting first would be ideal for us today because we don't have any. There are too many variables. That's why.
And looking at, I mean, it's too early to judge, but what do you think would eventually look like as the top four?
Top four, I think Chennai and Mumbai are going definitely. I think third one is Delhi, and the fourth one is going to be again a fight between two to three teams. That's going to happen. So
Sounds good.
Four, yeah.
Quick question. I am not really sure. Who is the coach of Rajasthan right now?
Rajasthan's coach, they keep on changing so much, man. I mean, they keep on changing so much. But what's going to happen is that once Warnie has come in, then coach doesn't matter. It could be anybody. I think there has been no change. I forget the name of the coach, but uh, until and unless when Warney is in there, I mean nobody matters. I mean it's Steven Smith's team actually. It's not the coach's team. It's not that kind of team. Where the
Absolutely.
coach
And
matters.
I
It's
remember Sir Alex Ferguson from Manchester United had once said, "Give me Zinedine Zidane and 10 blocks of wood, and I'll win you the championship." So that's what Warney brings to that dressing
yeah,
room.
yeah.
Calmness
So
and
if Warney and Steven Smith work together well, then anything can happen.
and that is again, if you look at it, roll back 13 years, Vaughan was the one who had first said Jadeja is a rock star. He will be
True,
in Indian
true,
cricket. So he
true.
has that vision, and I feel that with the history that Rajasthan has, I think Yashasvi Jaiswal and Mayank Markande it
Yeah,
would be an amazing experience for them. They will learn so much
true,
being in
true.
the
It's
same dressing room as Vaughan.
yeah, yeah, true. It's kind of, once you go into Rajasthan, you get opportunities, you learn a lot. I would say they are the true IPL team that has groomed a lot of people. And that's one aspect which people ignore. It's not just, it's about winning, of course, it's about winning. But, those players who are at the fringe, who don't get opportunities, they do really well at Rajasthan because they actually get a game. I mean, what will you do sitting for 2 months? There are some players who are just sitting on the benches. I mean, what's the use
And
of that?
that is one thing that I am not a big fan of with Mumbai, that we have a core of 15 players that we pick from. We do not like to give chance to youngsters.
Yeah,
We will give you that one off Markande, but that I think is more for business purposes. You then sell
right,
him.
right,
But
right.
Rajasthan has groomed youngsters. With Vaughan now, if Vaughan is really that big of a magician, I hopefully feel that he will do miracles with Jaidev Unadkat. If he
Right.
can do wonders with
Yeah.
Jaidev Unadkat, he's definitely a magician.
True, true. If he can do that, he's definitely a magician. True that.
So,
Yeah,
with that being said, I would like to close this episode with one final prediction today. Which team do you
yeah.
go with, Chennai or Rajasthan for today?
I have to go with Rajasthan, man. I have to go with Rajasthan because it's a royal game, first of all, and I think we are going to trouble Chennai today. That I'm sure about. Let's see how much, but we are going to trouble them. I wouldn't call winning or losing, but it's going to be a tough game. That I can predict.
I will wish your team the best, and I would like to see Chennai lose just to give them an initial stutter. But
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if they run away with the first 8 or 9 games and then they try some
Yeah.
youngsters, lose a few, and Dhoni picks it up again.
I just hope Watson doesn't click. That's all.
I
That's all.
I think he is past the past his prime for sure, and he is steadily declining. I do not really see Watson, especially with the weather conditions and the sweat and the dew factor that comes in. I do not see Watson
Correct.
uh, being that big of a force in this IPL at least.
Don't
So
jinx it, man. Don't jinx it. He will hit a century today and prove you wrong.
I, I hope not for your team's sake, but oh
Yes.
well, that's all that I have for today's edition. If you like our channel, please do hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you don't like it, let us know and we will try to improve. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Rohan, for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Keyur. Nice chatting with you. And yeah, let's hope Rajasthan wins.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.